of 40 times 10 to the fourth atmospheres, 0.003 times 10 to the negative 6 centimeters cubed, and 700 times 10 to the fourth kelvins. Find the final temperature if the final pressure was 0.0004 times 10 to the 15th atmospheres, and the final volume was begin by solving for T2. Okay, so this is the point some of you guys are losing on the homework, is just that first thing where you need to solve for T2 in the equation, right? So you guys hopefully have memorized what's the formula for ideal gas?
P1, T2, P2.
Oh, you memorized it that way. Tricky. Okay. So here we go. Begin by solving for T2. You're going to need to cross multiply first. So I've got this times this. P1, B1, T2 is equal to this times this. So that's T1, P2, B2. Okay, we're solving for T2, so now we need to divide both sides by P1, B1, and divide by P1, B1. All right, now we have T2 by itself, and we just need to do the correct substitution and then plug it into our calculator. All right? So first of all, it had initial pressure, volume, temperature. So it goes in that order. So this first one is pressure. So 40 times 10 to the fourth is the initial pressure. So that's in the denominator. And then the next one was volume, so centimeters cubed would be my volume, so 0.003 times 10 to the negative 6 is my initial volume. And then we've got, let's see, the last one here, kelvins, that's my temperature, so 700 times 10 to the fourth is my initial temperature. Find the final temperature if the final pressure was 0.004 times 10 to the 15th. Was that a 4? Yeah. Running out of room. Okay, and volume was 0.015 times 10 to the negative 14th. Let's scoot all this over. All right, and then all we have to do is plug this whole thing into our calculator. So you guys grab your calculator, and when you plug this in, you don't need all those parentheses because you can multiply in any order. What you do want is parentheses in the numerator and parentheses in the entire denominator. Or if you have the Inspire, I think you can just make it a fraction and you're good to go. If you have the 84, you got to make sure you use parentheses. Anyone got a lovely answer for us? You guys should all be trying this on your calculator to make sure you know how to cut it. All right, so we're going to put our answer in scientific notation, okay? So if we put our answer in scientific notation, then what did you guys get? Okay, so 3.5. All right. 3.5 times 10 to the 6th. We're doing temperature, so that was in kelvins for this problem. All right. Let's try that. Should be 6. Should be 6. You guys got it there? Okay, so a quantity of ideal gas has initial values of blank, blank, blank. Find P2 if the final volume was, and the final temperature was. Solve the equation for P2 as the first step. All right, so let's solve for P2 as the first step. Okay, do I have to cross multiply for this one? You actually don't have to cross multiply. You can if you want to, but because P2 is in the numerator, we can just multiply by the reciprocal over here to cancel these, right? And multiply by the same thing on this side. And now I have P2 by itself. Okay, this problem didn't actually tell you which one is which. So we're going to have to think through initial values of, anybody know what the kelvins always is? Temperature, so that's going to be my T1. Anybody know what the centimeters cubed always is? Volume, so that's going to be V1. So what does this one have to be? Pressure, pounds per inch squared is going to be P1. So let's plug those three in first. Okay, so this all equals P2. So we've got initial pressure right here in the middle, 0.003 times 10 to the 14th. Initial volume here, 0.007. And initial temperature has to go in the denominator, so 7,000. Okay, then it says the final volume was 3 times 10 squared. So my final volume is down here, 3 times 10 squared. Okay, my final temperature, 0.003 times 10 to the 7th. Again, you guys find that button above the divide sign that has the fraction boxes, and then if you put the entire top here and the entire bottom here, you don't really need parentheses, just put times, 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 all on the top and times all on the bottom. So see if you guys can get this one. All right, good. So we should have 3 times 10 to the 7th. We're solving for P2, and so my pressure was in pounds per inch squared. So we need to make sure we put our label